Welcome back to Unreal Golf, you guys. If you've seen my full video on my entire build and breakdown, you might be considering the MLM2Pro. A lot of things that are commonly talked about are the connection issues. And so today we're going to address that so I can kind of give you some peace of mind as to why I don't actually think the connection issues that other people might have are that much of an issue if you use the MLM2Pro the same way that I do. So first of all, I just want to say, if you're in the $1,000 budget, the MLM2Pro is really not something you can beat. As far as the accuracy goes, you're not going to find something that's under $1,000 that's this accurate on the spin axis. I've tried the Garmin R10, so if that's something you're considering, I do want to say, if you're under a 15 handicap golfer, the one thing you're not going to like is the inaccuracy of the spin axis. And that's something that the Rapsodo MLM2Pro does really, really well. The MLM2Pro uses the special RPT ball pattern and actually get accurate spin numbers. So as a low handicap golfer, the reason I went with this one over anything else in this price range, even under $2,000, is the accuracy in the spin axis, the distance, and Rapsodo is constantly making a ton of improvements as well. So I'll get into that more in a little bit here. Connection issues with the MLM2Pro are a result of a couple of different things. So one of them being internet. So if you're using the Rapsodo app, there's two different connection types, and let me explain those to you because one of them is going to have more issues than the other. And there's a third way, which is how I use it, direct connect to PC to GSPro. It absolutely is the best way to use this, and it solves almost all connection issues. So let's look at the app first. So with the Rapsodo app, you're going to have what's called the local area network connection. This one uses your Wi-Fi and it bounces the signal from your Rapsodo to your Wi-Fi and then back to your device. This is where people have the most issues. If you have a poor connection on your internet, you can have disconnects. And that's going to be more so the case if you use third-party apps like E6 or Awesome Golf, because those are only run through your mobile devices such as an iPad or iPhone and not PC like GSPro. Now, if you're strictly using the Rapsodo app like I do a lot of the times, you can do what's called a direct Wi-Fi connection, and this does not use your internet whatsoever. It's a connection between your device and your Rapsodo MLM2Pro. And I found that this is the most stable way to use the app. When I'm using my Rapsodo for speed training, when I'm using it for the range, or just for practice mode, I do a direct connection. You get connected quicker and you stay connected. I have virtually no disconnects when I use the Rapsodo app this way. And so it's safe to say if you go the Awesome Golf or the E6 route, you're probably prone to having more disconnect issues. But I'll get back to that in a second because Rapsodo is doing some great things about that. The way I use it, and if you've watched any of my videos, I strictly use GSPro with my Rapsodo. So GSPro is going to be the best way to use this because now we have the Springbok connector. It's a direct Bluetooth connection to your PC rather than having to use a device like an iPad, rather than having to worry about Wi-Fi, it's Bluetooth. The MLM2Pro puts off a Bluetooth signal and your computer can receive it. Now, I found the best way to do it is to use a Bluetooth extender that sits right next to your device. You can have a really stable connection, get connected quickly, and I'd say I do still have a disconnect, maybe one every 3 sessions. And if you watch my lives, you get to see me play full rounds and never have any disconnects. So I do like to be upfront about that. I do have the occasional disconnect, but it's as easy as going right back to that third-party connector, pressing connect, waiting about maybe 5 to 10 seconds, and you're back online. So those aren't really an issue to me because I've used other launch monitors. I've used the Garmin and I've used the SkyTrack Plus, and I've had at least the same amount of disconnects, no reads, missed reads, things like that. In fact, the SkyTrack Plus was not impressive to me at all when it came to misreads, and I'll talk about that at a later time. With every budget device, if you don't have a TrackMan, if you don't have a GC Quad, you're going to have some issues, guys. But to be honest, guys, for this device to cost $700, you really can't beat it in a lot of ways. Direct Connect to Bluetooth and GSPro, I find to be the best way to use this. Why? Because a Bluetooth connection is so much more stable. You don't have to rely on internet. You don't have to rely on an older device. You got to run it with a gaming laptop. And so if you're going to run this with a gaming laptop to GSPro, most of all of your disconnect issues are going to be solved. If you're going to run the Rapsodo app when you're trying to practice and you don't want to set up GSPro for that day, and you do a direct connection that doesn't involve internet, you're going to have a very stable connection as well. So you should really keep that in mind when you're doing your research and you see everybody talking about how many connection issues there actually are with the MLM2Pro. The other thing that I think is really important with this device is actually the community. Get involved, join their Facebook group. There are 2 different Facebook groups that I've found for the Rapsodo MLM2Pro. Join those groups. Yes, you're going to see a lot of people talking about the negatives and the things that aren't working for them, but you'll also see a lot of good information in there, and there's a lot of people that are really helpful, myself included, in that group. There is an employee from Rapsodo that stays active in that community and answers a lot of questions and actually posts about the updates. So if you want to stay connected as to what's going on, I really do like the Facebook community. And one thing that Rapsodo does really well is they're constantly putting out updates. So they're constantly listening to the community, making a ton of changes. Yes, in the first year, there were a ton of issues with this launch monitor. I got this launch monitor about 6 months ago now, and that was right around the 1-year anniversary of this device being out. And when I did, a ton of those issues were already solved. They're working on making even more improvements. Now, there's some rumors that Angle of Attack is coming out and Club Data is coming out in the first quarter of next year. And so one of the things I really do value about this device is all the effort that Rapsodo is putting into improving it. Of course, there's always going to be the bad apples, the picky people that want a GC3 or a GC Quad, but they just can't afford it, and so they're upset with a $700 device like this. But if you're like me and you like accurate data and you can deal with a couple little quirks here and there, overall, my experience with this device is fantastic. But don't let some of the cranky people out there scare you out of this device. For $700, you really won't get better than this. And I'd hate to see somebody try and get a Garmin and just settle for less when the spin axis data is not accurate. This one is so easy, it's portable, you could take it to the range, and if you use it for GSPro, it's about the best option you have out there, guys. So hopefully this helps you clear the air a little bit. Let me know if you have any other questions that I can address. Thanks for sticking around to the end, guys, and I'll see you soon.